Hello, Weehawken families. I'm Crespo, your district superintendent. Today we're here to present our 21-22 school budget. I'm here with friend and colleague and our business administrator, Matthew Whitford, who will be going over some of the details of the ins and outs of the budget and how it's created. I'll turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Crespo. First, I'd like to go over the approved budget calendar. Throughout the school year, starting in December, we actually start creating the budget. So it's a long process, it's not a really short-term process, and we meet with district supervisors, we meet with the obviously Board of Education to create this budget. So December and January, the calendar was approved, and we start meeting with every building principal and department supervisor. In February, I'll start drafting a preliminary budget that is then reviewed with Mr. Crespo, Superintendent. Late February, Governor Murphy holds his fiscal year 22 budget address, where he then releases the state aid amounts to each school district. The time period between the governor releasing those state aid amounts and approval of budget, we'll have to do some last minute tweaks, and then that preliminary budget is brought in front of the Board of Education, which is approved on March 2nd. March 9th, our executive county superintendent approved that budget, and now on April 20th, the Board of Education election will be held, where Board of Ed members will be elected and the school budget will be approved. Our revenue comes from a variety of different sources. Our largest portion is our local tax levy, which this year is $23.5 million. It's actually a 0% increase over last year's amount. Unlike a lot of other Hudson County schools, the large portion of our funds come from the local tax levy and not state aid amounts. Unfortunately, a few years ago, there was a legislation called S2 that has a calculation in district state aid. That calculation gave Weehawken kind of the short end of the stick, and it reduced our state aid over a scheduled period of time. From the 16-17 school year through the 24-25 school year, a category called adjustment aid will be reduced every year. We kind of know that schedule, we anticipate that reduction, and we're able to budget accordingly. A lot of these reductions are known, and we've been able to put into plan new programs and new initiatives that Mr. Crespo will go over later on how we're able to combat the reduction in state aid and still be fiscally responsible. We also have additional special funds revenue. These are school aid for preschool and federal grants that are for ESL students, for professional development, and for drug-free awareness. Our appropriations, or where we spend our money, is divided into multiple categories. Our largest is regular programs for instruction. This includes teacher salaries, it includes all classroom materials, including Chromebooks, textbooks, and anything you see inside the classroom that students are using. Just another visual graph of all those appropriations. Again, our largest part of our budget is our instruction. Again, the teacher salaries and everything that the students use. I'll now turn things over to Mr. Crespo.
In addition to our reduction in state aid, our out-of-district costs between the year of 2017 and 2020 increased tremendously. The number of students that sent out-of-district placements went from 38 students in 2017 to 67 students in 1920, and that put a tremendous stress on the district budget. In addition, that was many of our family members, many of our students going out of district when we want to keep them right here at home. Today, the district has 30 students in out of district placements, and this number continues to decrease because of the programs we have right here in our home. This wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the approval of 1920's second proposal. This was approved by you, and we thank you, the students thank you, and their families thank you. Part of that was our wellness initiative, and all of the schools and district-wide received something out of that second proposal. The wellness center is complete. We're making promises, we're keeping them. The wellness center at Roosevelt will be ready in 2021. and at Webster in 2022. District-wide, we have professional development, additional resources, we have new teachers and aides, and this continues to be able to provide our students with the best education possible. In this budget, you're going to see some new initiatives for our 21-22 school year. From hydroponics, not just at the high school, but now at each school. A Roosevelt Science Lab, more self-contained classes for our special ed students, aquaponics, robotics, 3D printers, upgrades to our Webster gym. We're going to be creating prosthetic hands that move. So while we always look at a budget and we look at dollars and cents, we always try to make sure that everything we put into that budget is student-centered and looks to the future on what kind of skills they're going to need. This budget and the future of the district would not have been possible without the residents approving the second proposal last fiscal year, the township's continued commitment to pilot funds, and federal stimulus grants that will be used to facilitate our summer and enrichment programs. The district is now able to provide a 0% tax increase for this 2021-2022 budget year.
In review, we are proposing a fiscal year 22 budget with a general fund revenue and appropriations of $27,632,768 and a total operating budget of $31,020,330. Our revenue and appropriations match, making our budget balanced.